Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? It's Pipsurfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2010. Hope y'all are doing great, and I'm just going to jump right into the update. First things first, of course, I have my 15-minute, my 4-hour chart open for the cable, and the first thing we always want to do is take a look at our overall trend. So to do that, we're going to go to our 4-hour chart, and I'm going to move my chart back to before midnight so you can see what it looked like. And you can see yesterday afternoon we had a new trend change candle form, and it was for an uptrend. And at the start of our day, there were no new trend change candles formed in between that time. So at the start of our day, our trend was up, and we were only looking for long trades. Now, if I move through today's action, you can see that there were no new trend change candles formed during our trading session. Therefore, the trend remained up the entire day, and we only looked for long trades for the whole day. All right. So it's pretty simple to determine our trend when there's no trend change candles forming in the middle of our session. That's really the only time you can kind of get tricky, but today was one of those easier days to recognize the trend. So it was for an uptrend, and we only looked for long trades the entire day. All right, so now 15-minute chart. This is where we're going to look for our entries, and I've moved it back to before midnight so you can see what it looks like before I'm about to start my trading day. But of course, what I want to do first is take a look at my news events for the day. And so you can go to babypips.com, click on this Tools tab, and it'll automatically bring up the news events for the day. And today is the 22nd of September, and we're looking for news that affects the UK or the US. So under the currency column, we want to look for anything that says GBP or USD, and we only want to look at news that might have an impact on the market. So under impact, we only want to pay attention to news that has 2 or 3 dots. Anything less than that, we're not really going to regard, and we're not going to make a note of. All right, so under this currency column, if I go down, the first thing I see is at 4:30 we have this GBP news report. However, there's only 1 dot of impact, so I'm not even going to regard it. I'm just going to pretend like it's not even there. And then if I go down to 10 a.m., all the way down to 10 a.m., we have a report for the U.S., and it's the FHFA House Price Index. And under impact, there's 2 dots. So this is something I want to write down. So I'm just going to do that on a notepad, and you can do the same thing. Or set some kind of alert for 10 o'clock because you don't want to be in the market during that time. All right, and that was really the only news event to watch out for. So now that I know my news event and I know I'm only looking for long trades, I can now begin my day. And so now I'm going to move my chart forward 1 candle at a time and give you my thought process along the way. And remember, the goal here is to get you to start thinking the way that I think when it comes to trading this system. And I know for you that follow the videos every day, it probably seems routine, all the things that I say, all the things that I'm doing. And that's actually the point of the blog, is to let you see that although there's variations from day to day, that for the most part, my mentality, my process, everything is kind of the same. It's kind of routine. And it's a good thing because after a while it becomes second nature, gets a little easier, and then you can just rely on the fact that the system has been proven to be profitable over the long term, as long as you trade it correctly. And so that's really what I take peace at. So when I lose, it's not that big of a deal because I know that, hey, a loss is just part of the game. And it's just and over time I know that my wins will overtake my losses, and I'll be profitable over the long term. So it doesn't bother me as much as it used to before. So I'm moving my chart forward now 1 candle at a time, and again I'm looking for long trades. So I'm looking for, the first thing really I'm looking for is a crossover to the upside with the moving averages. And so of course I can't really get that right now because the moving averages are already trending up. So I'd have to wait for a retracement to the downside. And by retracement, I mean I'd have to see a crossover to the downside first before we saw anything. All right, so I'm moving forward, moving right along. We do get the crossover to the downside there. So now I'm paying closer attention to the chart because I know there's a better possibility I'll have a crossover to the upside. And sure enough, I do get one at 5:30. RSI is above 50. Stochastics are trending up. MACD was negative and gaining value. So this is a valid entry. Now it closes at 5:45. Remember, our only news event isn't until 10, so we have plenty of time there. So this is a good signal to take. So we'll go ahead and enter at the close of the candle at 56.90. Our stop will be at the most recent swing low at 56.15. Our target would usually be at the near 0.50 level, but in this case it'd only be at 5,700. And again, that's not really that much of a profit target there. So in this case, we're going to go for the same amount of pips we're risking on the trade. And so to figure that out, you just take your entry, which is 56.90, subtract it from your stop at 56.15, get a difference of 75 pips. And so now we're just going to add that onto our entry, which is at 56.90, and we get a target at 57.65. Now, if you're conservative, you can actually go for the next 50 or 0 level, since our 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio is at 57.65, which surpasses the next 50 or 0 level. A conservative target, if you want, is 57.50. You know, that's not really, you don't have to do that. Again, some people are conservative. Maybe if it hits it, you'll trail your stop, whatever. But 57.65 is normally what I'd go for because it's a 1-to-1 reward to risk ratio. All right. So now I'm watching the trade, and again, if I happen to be in the trade still by the 10 a.m. news report, then I will exit, no matter if I'm in a profit or loss. So I'm just watching it at this point, and unfortunately, we do take a hit, and the market goes against us, and we do get stopped out. So it's a pretty nasty sting of 75 pips. But again, I'm kind of used to it, and if you're fairly new to trading, I know that can sting, and that's why you practice good money management, because even when you lose big like this, you should be able to weather the storms, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm not going to say that it doesn't hurt to lose, so it still affects me in some case, but you know, I'm just going to stay positive. You know, really just treat it like any other trade and record it in the books and move on. And so that's really what I'm going to do. And I may, after the trading session, look back at my trade, see if I did anything wrong, or, you know, just kind of analyze what I did. But during the trading session, I'm keeping focused on the task at hand, which is to pay attention to my system and what's going on. All right, so here we get another crossover. RSI is above 50, stochastics are trending up. MACD has gone from negative to positive. Again, a valid signal here. Now this candle opens at 9:30 and closes at 9:45, and if you go back to your notepad, you know that news is coming out at 10 a.m., which is not too far from now. So in that case, I don't want to enter right before a news event, so I will not enter on this trade, even though it is a valid signal. So no entry before the news report, and there is the news candle right there. Didn't make too much noise, but sometimes that happens. So we didn't enter the trade. And actually, that actually turned out to be a good thing for us to not enter. All right, so that pretty much ended the day. We took one loss, 75 pips. Not the greatest day, definitely, but just stay positive and continue to stay disciplined to the system. And trust me, when the market starts to trend again, you'll be glad that you followed the rules correctly. All right, so that's it for today's update. If you have any questions, feel free to ask it in the blog. I'll try my best to answer them. But I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all on the next update. Cowabunga, dude.